everybody. Today with us here we have Anandu with AIR 127 in Civil Services Examination 2018. Hello Anandu, welcome to ENLITE, and first of all hearty congratulations in coming out in flying colours in the current examination 2018 Civil Services Examination. So first of all, tell us something about yourself.
First of all, thank you so much for this, and I'm really happy that I'm here. I'm Anandu, and I grew up in a town called Tiruvalla. I did my schooling there from Mathama Residential School. Then talking about my graduation, I'm a BTech graduate in Chemical Engineering, and it was from TKM College of Engineering in Kollam. Then at home, I have my father, mother, and a sister who is currently doing her house urgency in medicine at AIIMS, Bhubaneswar.
Okay. So you're a graduate in chemical engineering from TKM College, Kollam.
Yes.
So then how and when did civil services happen to you?
The dream actually sprouted out due to my grandfather way back in 6th or 7th standard. I don't remember the exact class. It was actually, that was the initial thrust. But then the real decision, I took it in 3rd year of my college because I had to take a decision whether to pursue a career in engineering or should I prepare for this. So I should thank my parents for that. They supported me till here. So it wouldn't have been possible without them. So why? Because we need people. I want to get into the civil service as young as possible because we have the energy and spirit right now. So I should exhaust everything of that for the betterment of the nation. So I believe that I can do things because civil servants can make things happen in India. So I believe in it. So I'm here.
So you took the decision in your 3rd year of college,
yes.
And now it's been a couple of years.
Yes.
So then how did you plan your journey? What strategy did you plan?
First of all, I had to choose a place because the default the preparation location has always been New Delhi. But there was financial constraints and other problems for me to move out to Delhi. So I thought I should stand here, like I should be here. So Trivandrum was the best option. So I came here, and the 3 years has been an arduous journey. It had got many ups and downs. So I'm really glad that I'm here right now. And without the help of teachers and all the mentors here, I don't think I would have been here today. So that was about the journey.
So your first attempt was in 2016 and
yes.
This was your 3rd attempt.
Yes.
So it took 3 years for
yes.
you to reach this great position. So how did you manage to keep your motivation high all through these 3 years?
It was very difficult. In fact, it was really difficult to keep that motivation throughout these many years because in my first attempt, I couldn't clear prelims. So in the second attempt, I usually had it was a challenge to clear the prelims. So my only target was to clear the prelims at any cost. So that was the primary target then. I scheduled my studies according to that. And in my second attempt, I could clear prelims. And for my mains preparation, I had a great mentor in Mahesh sir, in ENLITE only. So he used to give me moral support as well as all the support, I would say, because he used to motivate me. That was the external motivation that I had. And then it was again my friends who used to give me that strength during my hardships. So I just continued my preparation and I could clear mains and then reach the interview stage in the second attempt, and again I couldn't clear, I couldn't make it to the final list. So that was a situation where I was clearly shattered and I was home back then, and it was again one of my best friend who was with me during that time. Then I had hardly a month for next prelims. So I came to Trivandrum, came back here, and then I had all the support from this institute because what I did was for my this time prelims, I had my basics strong that I knew. So I had to just update the current affairs and also to revise everything. I think revision part is the quintessential thing that any aspirant must do in order to clear any stages, especially prelims. So that was my story.
Okay. Yeah, so 2018 prelims was rather an anomalous paper.
Yes.
Most of the aspirants found it very difficult right in the exam hall then and there.
Yes.
So what about you? Did you find it difficult within the exam hall?
It is always a taken that UPSC always surprise the aspirants, because if you analyze the papers like in last 3 years which I have written, it was radically different from each other. So we have to go in with such a kind of thought, like we can't expect any expected questions from any sources, whatever it be. So one thing that I believe is, if our basics are strong, then we can actually eliminate the options and get to the right option, the
Right answer.
right answer.
Yeah.
So that is one main strategy that I follow, because revise the basics again and again. Even if I am thorough, I will revise it again and again, and then update it with current affairs. That is one thing that I do. I used to do all the time, and it worked this time.
So after prelims, how was your score? Like, was it on the borderline or were you a safe candidate? How was the score?
When I calculated, it was around 100 and 105.
Okay.
It used to fluctuate,
Okay.
and there's always that uncertainty.
Yeah. So how did you kind of keep that uncertainty at bay and motivate yourself for preparing for mains?
It was again a very difficult thing to do, and one thing that I can say is that within a matter of a month, the prelims result used to come.
Okay.
So if we can dedicate one more month, whatever the result be, even if we make it or don't make it, just sit, take a day off, and prepare from the next day possible. That's what I believe and I have done, because if we don't make it to the list at the prelim stage, then okay, then we can make the decisions after 1 month. 1 more month, if we can dedicate, it can make a huge difference, because for mains, time is valuable and we have to use it smartly and effectively. So that is what I believe. That is something which I used to motivate myself to prepare right after the prelims examination.
Okay. So after prelims was the next hurdle, 2018 mains. So how was your strategy and preparation for mains examination?
It was mainly, again, I used to make notes myself. All the standard books I used to refer for these subjects: polity, history, economics. The basic subjects I used to refer standard books only. But there was something which every aspirant you do, which I also believe everyone have their own strategy. Mine was like, prepare something like for GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. I had separate books for that.
Okay.
And I used to feed in the most important things from the syllabus and my prepared notes under it. It should be concise, and I used to do it very concisely, and it was like mainly for revision purpose. I believe that revision is something that we should do. Otherwise, nothing is going to work out, because we may have read it 100 times, but during the examination time, it just doesn't come to our mind. So to get that lightning memory, I should say revision is the best thing. So we have to prepare notes like we can revise it the previous day of the examination. Otherwise, it's not going to be useful. So that is something that I always do.
So content enrichment happened along with the preparation.
Yes.
So next was writing and managing your time, managing 20 questions in 3 hours.
Yes.
So how did you gain the skill of giving 20 questions in a short of 3 hours?
It's again, we have to practice it. And the best form of practice is to take a good test series. Because in the test series, we are given a particular time period. We have to complete that 20 questions in 3 hours. So I think it is the best form of practice for mains preparation. And even without that, we can just write 2 to 3 answers every day, and we can show it to our mentors if we have any. So they can correct us. So writing. Without writing, by just mugging up, nothing is gonna happen. At least I believe in it. and it worked for me. I used to write it, and that is something.
So you used to write a lot of answers, but
Yes.
then managing 20 answers in 3 hours is a big task.
Yes.
So how did you go through that?
It's again practicing to write, even if we are writing 2 to 3 answers a day. And taking a test series will be useful for, especially the first time aspirants, first time attempters. It will be very useful because we don't get to write in such a situation, right? In 3 hours, it's a race against time actually. So we have to write as much as we can. So there shouldn't be any compromise upon it. So each day you can frame answers. At least if you are not in a situation to write full length answers, we can frame it like the structure we know. So take a question at random, especially taking questions, we can frame our own questions from, otherwise we get many questions based on the syllabus. It's available right now. So we can take a random question, answer it. We can frame it. Like that, it's a very good practice that I used to do and it worked so well for me.
Okay. So now coming to your optional subject, which was
Yes.
philosophy.
Yes.
So you gave 2 mains in 17 and 18, and
Yes.
philosophy was your optional subject for both.
Yes.
So philosophy is a rather uncommon subject, especially when it comes to, I think, aspirants from South India.
Yes.
The main reason being lack of coaching and
Yes.
all that. Yeah. So why did you choose philosophy? Is my first question. And there are so many myths about taking philosophy. I would like you to break that too at the same time.
Yes. Talking about the optional philosophy, like there are myths, I know, and even I heard of it before taking it. Some of the important aspects that we as an aspirant will hear about the optional is there is no such guidance system here and it is so vast, and how can it be possible to learn like Indian and Western we are studying in this particular optional, and is it possible to complete it in this rather 3 or 4 months before mains, and all those were there, and even I had to come over such questions. So the main thing was that anybody will be interested in taking philosophy if it is an option that is viable. So that is the most important thing that has actually encouraged me to take it, because there is a proper guidance system in Trivandrum itself, and I used to like the subjects because even though I hadn't had any such exposure to it before I come here, but I was always interested in it. Anybody is interested in philosophy. So Mahesh sir was here, and it was only after talking to him for some time on this matter about, like all the other aspirants, I was also very confused in choosing the right optional for myself. So I talked to him, and actually he convinced me that it is possible, and I had my friends in 2016 batch who got into the service taking this optional. So I had that confirmation right in front of me also, and I saw it that it is possible to cover such a vast syllabus in a matter of 2 to 3 months, like if we dedicate our time smartly. And I used to depend a lot on the notes from the institute, because that was something after the standard textbooks. And and I used to have time constraints reading the standard textbooks because there are 2 to 3, and so I depend on these notes and enriched my content reading the standard books. So first of all, we need to have such a basic interest in that particular subject. If we have interest and if we have a good support system, then I can say that we can choose any optional. And for philosophy, in my personal opinion, even in the last attempt, I got around 270 marks, and it was
In 2017.
in 2017. So that was again a confirmation that I took the right choice. Actually, anybody would question, even I may question after not clearing but it was not a problem. So that was an encouragement in this attempt. I worked again on the particular subject itself. And for philosophy, one of the important thing and a peculiar thing was that in the last few days of the examination, in this attempt we had about 5 to 6 days, and The entire 5 to 6 days I spent here with sir, and he was so dedicated and passionate about this. Like, he used to do the 50% of the work for us. So he used to revise these questions again and again to such an extent that when we get the question in the examination, it just simply comes to our mind. It's a matter of just writing it in the allotted time. So that is something I found very important and very useful, because anybody would panic like without just reading by ourselves, going to a class and spending time there. But it worked for me in the last 2 attempts. So this year also we continued it, and we were actually fortunate enough that I could, it worked.
So, you are a graduate in chemical engineering, which
Yes.
means you have no background of philosophy at all.
Nothing at all.
So, coming from a science background, entering into a subject like philosophy must have been a difficult decision for sure, taking
Yes.
that choice. So, what would you like to say to all those people out there who are in search of an optional subject, even if they're from a science background? Would you suggest philosophy as an optional subject to them?
I would strongly suggest philosophy as an optional. It's again from my personal experience only, because as an engineer, we have this I think this peculiar talent to study anything overnight. So I used to do this at college. So again, such an interesting subject as philosophy. It includes Western philosophy, Indian philosophy, then the socio-political theories, and all these things. Just by reading the syllabus of philosophy, if one gets interested, then I can assure them that we have the support system here in Kerala itself. We'll get the proper material, we'll get the proper guidance, and I benefited from it. So I would like to share it with other people. I'd like to recommend it strongly, because it is a viable optional. That is what we have to see, especially in the preparation for civil service examination.
To what extent did philosophy as an optional help you in other GS papers like essay, ethics, and the rest of the general science papers?
Especially in ethics, it can be a direct reflection. Like if we are taking philosophy, we learn many concepts. The conceptual clarity will be there. So in ethics, when situation-based questions even comes, we'll be able to crack it more easily. Writing the answers is another thing, but we can crack the questions easily. That is what I experienced and I learned. Like, for example, if I have to say, the importance of means over ends, or ends over means. And these things, we are actually trained like that in philosophy classes. So we'll get a direct insight into such topics. And then essay will be another option. Especially this time, the second part of the essay was completely philosophical. The 4 topics were completely philosophical. So I think a student of philosophy can write a topic. I too think. Because we can clearly convey the topic as such if we have the conceptual clarity. So I believe it has helped me in essay also this time. Marks haven't come, so I'm not in a position to.
Okay. So now coming to the interview part. So this was your second interview.
Yes.
So what were the changes you brought to your style of answering the questions compared to last year?
Yes. About the interview preparation, I think the first time for this preparation part, I first came to my mentor, my sir only, and I took a one-on-one interview with him. The only thing that he told me is that I should be a bit more vocal, so that it reflects more like confidence from my part. I should be more vocal, and I should be a little more engaging. Like he said, I'm answering well, but engaging a conversation is different. So those are the 2 insights that I got from him. So I worked on that aspect rather than the content, because after this preparation, mains preparation, we used to not have any problem with the content. So if we update ourselves with current affairs, it's again, it'll be easy. So my interview, in civil service interview this time was more of a general discussion. It's a good discussion. So I applied these 2 points mainly. That was actually the change that I made from the last time. So it worked well for me. Fortunately, everything that I did this time worked well for me.
Okay, so did you enroll in for any test series or anything for your mains preparation?
Yes, I've enrolled for mains test series here in ENLITE,
Okay.
and it was a very good experience because even if we have written mains one time, if we can take a mains test series before the examination, it will be a good practice and it can reflect in the examination. It's again the preparation to make ourselves believe that we are preparation ready.
Okay.
So it benefited me.
Okay. So now this was your third attempt and
Yes.
definitely you got in a very good rank. But still, when you look back, what would you like to tell to that old Anandu who was a fresh attempter? What changes would you have brought to your preparation? Looking back at the 3 years you've been in this journey of civil services.
Again, I believe that revision, revising the basic concepts as well as whatever we have read. If we don't revise, maybe it's a case with me only, but I still believe revision part is the quintessential part in like acing this examination if you have to do it. So revise, revise and revise and get that clarity in concepts, because once we get it, it's easy for us to just revise it and update ourselves. So that is something that I would tell my older self. Yeah, I do not used to revise like this in my first attempt and I couldn't clear prelims, but I did it in the second time. So I think it has worked well for me 2 times. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So prelims is around the corner. We have
Yes.
the exam coming up in almost 1.5 months.
Yes.
So what would you like to say out to all those aspirants out there who are about to give their prelims this year?
I can know the situation. I can feel the heat around me, because around 40 days or something for the prelims. So what I have to tell them is that the last like 10 to 15 odd days, it should be for the revision part. We shouldn't look into any new things that we haven't learned till now. So we have to revise as much and get the basic clarity of mind, and we have to be very peaceful and very confident about yourself. Even if we haven't covered this topic or that topic, just leave it. We can't do it in the last 15 days or 20 days, because we will be doing it at the cost of revising something we have mastered. So revision part must be very essential, and if everyone can do it in the right way possible, revising the entire thing, I think anybody can clear the prelims if they do it in the right way.
Okay. So this success is entirely yours, but still I would like to ask whether you would like to dedicate it to anybody.
Of course, my late grandfather,
Huh.
I have to do it, and all the teachers have taught me from KG. So they have given me the foundation. Without them, I'll never have such an opportunity even to prepare for this examination. And I felt it in the preparation stage also. So I'm very grateful to them, especially my school teachers and also in college.
Thank you so much, Anandu. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with us, and I hope to see you soon as an IAS officer here in Kerala.
Thank you so much.